Here we are fitting the cabin sides before we stitch and glue them. So no fillets yet, no fiberglass tape. Wet out the corners and any place where you're going to be placing a fillet so you don't end up with any dry edges. Okay, we've applied the fillet around the edges of the cabin side, and now we're going over it with the fiberglass tape and epoxy. Okay, well, today we filleted and taped the inside of the cabin sides. Before we do anything else on the outside, we still have to put the window frames in here. Yeah, I got sidetracked and forgot to put the window frames in. Did it later. We fit the cabin top stringers before we stitch them to the cabin top itself. And rather than bore you with 2 hours of laying on the inside of the boat on my back and rolling around in the belly of the beast there, as I epoxy, fillet, put the tape on, clean it up with an alcohol rag. I'll just let it play here at hyper speed. And I've cut it down to about another minute, something like that. Maybe less, I don't know, maybe more. These wires aren't in the middle of a fillet. They're just strictly around the cabin rooftop stringers here. So I cut them underneath, pull them out straight, and then cut them up here so I can work on one side at a time. And they come out pretty easy if you don't get in a hurry. It would take a little longer to melt if they were in a fillet. And then sometimes they're at a weird angle and they don't want to come out, so you just sand them off flush and fair them out. Cover them with glass. And we're inside the forward half of the cabin here. I'm just getting ready to mark around these frames for the windows, and I just remembered I hadn't actually looked in here after we put a lid on it. So it's really cozy. There is definitely not sitting headroom here. But there's storage. This is just the storage compartment with the watertight bulkhead up there in front. And it looks like somebody needs to do some housekeeping. There's a lot of dust in here. Here's the part where the hatch is. But you have over 6 feet of space here on the floor to sleep in, and include the 2 storage compartments, and you've got almost 12 feet. Okay, we've got the window frames glued in. Okay, next is we're actually going to sand and glass the top, and then we're going to do the combings on it. You will see that right over here we did add another piece of 3/8 ply, 12 millimeter, whatever you want to call it, to stiffen that side up a little bit. And then we'll also have a fillet underneath the combing when we put it on. And then also, since we're going to be getting in and out of this cabin quite a bit, I didn't feel right not having any support underneath here, so I added a couple of posts going down to the keel supporting the bunk boards here. And the piece going sideways there is going to come off. It was just holding up while the glue set.